Despite working literally 12 hours in a row, I've just been able to get a good session in, and that's all down to the preparation. For you to train hard right after work, you need to have enough energy. So in this video, I'm going to go over my entire pre-workout routine to ensure I have enough energy for training. So you might be thinking, gym is in another 4 or 5 hours. Why is this in the video? Well, what you eat even 3, 4, 5 hours beforehand can still have an impact on your session. I normally get around 700 to 900, possibly even 1,000 calories in this meal, especially if it's my first meal of the day, which does happen quite often. So here we have rice, beans and chicken, as well as some olive oil, extra fats, beans for the fiber, and some chicken. Other things I have quite often include potatoes with mackerel fillet, potatoes with eggs, pancakes. In terms of macronutrient split, there's not many strict rules here. Just try not to have too many carbs because I don't want to be tired when I'm working afterwards, and don't want to have too much protein because I don't like having too much protein in my system until after my workout. Okay, so now it's around 4 p.m, but at this time I'll still be working with only around an 80% idea of what time I'll finish. While technically I'm supposed to finish at 5 p.m. every day, I could have some things to do which lead me to finishing around 8 p.m. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume I finish at 5 p.m. and that'll be the time where I have my pre-workout meal. Now I'm going to show you what I would eat before I work out. Before you work out, you don't want too much food in your stomach, so I like to keep my meals anywhere between 300 and 600 calories depending on what exactly I'm training. For example, on a leg day, I may have this sandwich like this. So we have egg, a cheese slice, although I wouldn't have cheese normally, and a piece of bacon, as well as a muffin. It's around 300, 350 calories. The reason I don't like having too much on leg day, even though I burn more calories on leg day, as in you should be burning more calories on leg day, is because with leg day, when the food sits in your stomach, you can feel a bit nauseous sometimes, especially when squatting heavy weight. So I just avoid that altogether by eating less before the workout, but eating much more after the workout to compensate for the additional calories I burn in a leg day compared to, I don't know, like an arm day. Another meal I like to have, let's say before, I don't know, back and chest day, is protein oats with a bit of peanut butter. This meal, for example, is 80 grams of oats, whey protein, unsweetened almond milk, and tablespoon of peanut butter. It's around 600, 700 calories probably. For some people, oats sit on their stomach, especially if you're bulking. You may want something with less fiber, like rice, but for me, it digests fine and I like it. It tastes like a dessert. Also, it is very easy to prepare, even though this is prepped well in advance. These are 2 examples I have quite often. Other examples I could have include rice, chicken, and olive oil. We have cream of rice with some peanut butter as well, although I don't have cream of rice myself, but if you're bulking, I would definitely recommend cream of rice because it digests much easier than oats. We have Greek yogurt with some fruit. That's a very good option if you're dieting, for example, trying to lose weight, trying to keep the calories low. And yeah, there are lots of different things you can eat, but the main thing is having between 60 and 100 grams of carbs. The carbs will give you the energy for your workout and will also help you keep you pumped as well. You want to avoid sugary carbs because what they will do is, yes, it will give you massive spike energy initially, but especially if you're training for a long time and you're eating an hour before your workout, you could just suddenly crash during your workout. Because me personally, I used to see bodybuilders eating cereal before their workout and I tried to copy it. Noticed I suddenly get tired in the middle of my workout. Also, you only burn around 200 to 300 calories on an average lifting session. So you don't need tons and tons of carbs. Even 100 grams is quite excessive. I would definitely go close to 60 grams rather than going close to the 100 grams. Another thing is protein. Around 30 to 50 grams of protein is ideal. Protein obviously being very important for muscle protein synthesis. If you don't have enough protein, you won't build muscle. You don't want to have too much protein before your workout. What that will do is it will bloat you, make you go to the toilet during your workout. And it's not necessary. It's your protein intake throughout the day, which matters more, not your protein intake before your session. And finally, 10 to 20 grams of fat, maybe going close to 5 grams if you're eating right before your session, as in like 15 to 30 minutes beforehand. Fat is still digesting, meaning it'll still be in your system by the end of your workout, which is very important because if you don't have enough fat in your diet in general or before your workout, your carbs, which digest much quicker, will be completely depleted by the end of the workout, whereas the fats will be there to hold you through so that you don't kind of tire through right at the end. But you also don't want to have too much fat because too much fat will just sit in your stomach and not be pleasant. You want to have between that 10, 20 gram range so that you have enough at the end of your session, but you want like completely bloated. Some other pre-workout tips, you don't want to overdo it with the seasonings, especially if you're training 30 to an hour before you eat this meal, because seasonings not good for your stomach, can make you feel uncomfortable. Salt, now there isn't any salt here, so I'm just going to hold up some soy sauce. You want to have some sodium before training because that will stop you from sweating too much and losing lots of water during your session. If you lose lots of water during training and essentially dehydrate yourself, what will end up happening is that you end up feeling tired, you're not able to lift as much, and your performance is just generally reduced overall. Dairy doesn't sit well in my stomach, it doesn't sit well in most people's stomachs. You don't want to have too much dairy before your training, even though I showed you a sandwich with cheese in it, but that is actually a one-off. Oil spray, if you're going to cook your food, make sure to cook it in oil spray unless you're going to account for the fat in the actual olive oil that you're using, because when you're new to training or new to tracking or dieting, it's easy to forget that olive oil or butter, whatever you cook your food in, very high in fat and very high in calories. Quick interjection, but knowing what to do before the gym is important, but it's also very important to know what to do at the gym, as in having a proper plan and structure in place, so when you go to the gym, you're not just picking random exercises, but you're actually going there with intention. And so I've got a free muscle building guide, which will help you do exactly that. Click the link in the description to access it. Okay, so at this point, I head to the gym, and these are the things I would take. So we have creatine. To be honest, I take creatine in the morning, but I just thought I'd show you because it is very important anyway. With creatine, it's very important to take it consistently, not just take it on one-off, but you have to take it every single day. I take around 3 grams a day. Creatine is very important for muscle building. Well, I say very important. You don't need it, as in I didn't take it till around maybe 2 years ago, but it does definitely help because it saturates your muscles with water, and since your muscle is mostly made up of water, it will just make your muscles look bigger. It also does help with cognition, it helps with performance in the gym, as in strength in the gym, and it's very cheap. This cost me like £15 and it's lasted over a month so far, or 93 servings, you can see. Next up, I know it's not a supplement, but water. It's very important that you're hydrated before and during and after your session, because slight dehydration can lead to a significant reduction in performance. So I make sure to drink around 500 milliliters of water right before I go. We have L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine, I use it for my kind of brain, as in to help with my focus. Because when you're working, you're stressed from work, you then need to switch your brain over to, okay, I have a gym session now, and this helps. Finally, we have pre-workout. Pre-workout containing caffeine, beta-alanine, L-citrulline, all things which will help improve your performance in the gym and give you more energy. Now, I really recommend taking pre-workout at 5 p.m. I take it at 8 p.m. sometimes, and even though it's probably affecting my sleep quality, I do it because I can't train without pre-workout and I want to maximize all my sessions. If you're sensitive to caffeine, I would definitely not take pre-workout right now, especially at 5 p.m. when you're about to sleep in maybe 5-6 hours. I sleep at midnight myself, but I know a lot of you probably sleep around 10-11 p.m. Also, pre-workout and caffeine in general takes around 20 to 30 minutes to, you can say, take effect. Me personally, it takes me around 10 to 20 minutes to get to the gym, so that's why I'm having the pre-workout now. Final point, sometimes I train first thing in the morning. I'm sure a lot of you do the same too. If that was the case, I wouldn't eat anything beforehand. I'd rely on the meal I ate the night before. Although the night before, I would obviously know I'm going to be training in the morning, so I would eat quite a lot the night before, so I have enough energy for the morning workout. I'd also take 2 scoops of pre-workout instead of the normal 1, because I can. I'll still take the same supplements I took earlier. I'll just take them earlier in the day, obviously, as I'm training in the morning. And I'd prioritize post-workout nutrition even more, because obviously at this point I wouldn't have eaten for a while, and it's important to get some protein in my system, so muscle protein synthesis as soon as possible. If you reached the end of the video, feel free to leave a like if you found it useful and enjoyable, and why not subscribe for more fitness tips. Why not also give me a follow on Instagram? I'm going to put it in the description, and follow me on TikTok if you want as well, but you have to follow me there because I don't respond to messages there. Yeah, have a great day.